today we have the final linking video. So we're gonna be linking soil. All right, so soil stands for something library, and 2, that means it's an upgrade. But if you're smart, which I'm not, you have to read this right here. So it stands for Simple OpenGL Image Library, which I seem to have missed. But yes, so what it does is you load in images into a format which you can use to create textures in OpenGL. Alright, so when you create textures in OpenGL, we do that to not have blank squares and triangles, but we want some kind of a image plastered onto all our objects and our beautiful models, right? So that's why we'll have textures. To have textures, you need to load them from some kind of JPG file or PNG file or whatever. So that's what this helps us do. There's no internal original way for OpenGL to do that. So it's not too hard to make your own image loader, but why not just use this? There's another one, STB image, but we're going to be using soil too. Now, what you want to do is you want to go into downloads. You just want to download repository, and I already did that because I'm cool. Alright, so first you want to do that, then you want to go into Premake. Okay, just Google Premake, download version 4.4 beta, and download the one for Windows or whatever thing you're on, whatever platform you're on, right? So just go ahead and download that. I already did it. Download them to desktop.
I'm afraid I'll ruin your life. Wild to leaves with their way and grew again. You have gone far away. I'll be pushing her daisies.
Top, I'd say is a little. I'll go through it real quickly if you don't download it to desktop, but whatever, try to do that. If you do not, what will happen? I have a little cheat sheet here, right? I have a cheat sheet, I have my project open. So what you want to do is you want to open CMD. Let's check out cheat sheet. So we downloaded Soil, we downloaded Premake. Let's copy paste Premake exe into Soil to where premake.lua is. So what you want to do, first you open your SpartanJ Soil folder, alright, and you just copy this onto wherever you want, desktop in my case. I already did that. Next step will be to go into Premake, the RAR file, and just drag this premake4.exe to the SpartanJ folder. I already did that too, so I just copy. Copied it in here, and what happens then is we will be able to build it. Now that's the problem with Soil, you have to build it. You can't just download already pre-built libraries and stuff, but we'll try to build it. So let's use our cheat sheet. Let me see if I'm recording first of all. Yes, I am. Let's do that. Let's go to cheat sheet. Let's make sure we open command prompt like pros, alright, because we're going to do some cool stuff. Now I want to actually zoom in here. Let's see, scroll, find. Let me just go into properties so I can show you guys what's going on. So font, let me make it 28 or 24, okay, so you guys can see what's going on. Alright, so I'm on desktop. That's where you usually will come to whenever you Now I've tried some stuff here before I started because I suck. So let's just ignore that, alright? Let's just do clear. Okay, I don't know what that is, but okay, whatever. CLR, I think. Okay, no, never mind. Never mind, you'll be here. So what you want to do is, if you have your stuff on desktop, there's no biggie. It's no big deal. Alright, but if you're on downloads or something, now the thing we want to do is, if you have your Spartan J thingy on the desktop, just drag it over here and just wait, don't do that. Excuse me. What you want to use is the CD command, the change directory command, space, and then you want to drag this link thing here and just do that, and then you'll be in that folder, right? And everything in this folder is accessible to us from this command prompt. Now, if you're in D, what you want to do is first you have to change your directory to D. So you just do D colon, and then you're in D. Then you have to kind of CD your way to that path, or just drag a folder from D into there. So what I can do is, if I have my D drive open, I'm in D. I might want to just drag this games folder here, and then let me see, CD, excuse me, CD, and I'll just drag games here, and then I'll be in games. Alright, so that's the way you want to do it, but you have to be in the correct folder or correct drive in order to drag and drop these long paths, right? So that's what you want to do. Let me just go back to C, and I am in that, wait, C, please. Alright, so now I'm in C again, in my Spartan J, because I was there before I left, so I'm still there. And then what we want to do is we want to write or type in premake 4.exe and VS 2012. Now you're like, why 2012? Because why not the latest version? Because you have Visual Studio 2017, whatever. It won't really matter. This is the latest version that Spartan J or Spartan Soil, whatever, supports. So we're just gonna build it for that. Just press enter, and then bam, boom. Open your folder again, and you'll have a new folder called Make. Window, and then you have your Soil 2. Just drag it up. That's where you usually wanna actually zoom to the Spartan J folder. I already did that too, so I just cut and paste them in the act. Project folder and folder. Okay, so I'm gonna make a new folder here called built it, and then change, or yes, it does matter, just Spartan Soil, whatever supports. So we're just gonna build it for that. Just press enter, and then back. Bam! Boom! Open your folder again, and you'll have a new folder called Make. Window, and then you have your Soil 2 or Solution folder. So just open that, and after you have your little Solution folder here, you just press OK, Upgrade. Doesn't really matter. Or yes, it does matter. Just press OK there. And then what we're going to be interested in is our Soil 2 static lib. Now let me just go to my cheat sheet. So what we're done with is all this. Enter, go to Make folder, Soil 2 Solution, open Soil 2, Upgrade, OK. This is the one we're interested in. Build this for debug and release. So we're just going to go in here. We're going to press debug, Win32, and we're going to build it. And after it's built, it should be built. Wait, build it, and then change this to release. And we're just going to do build again, build, then building. Obviously we can't run it, but we built it. So I'm just gonna rebuild that once, the debug one. Just rebuild it once. There we go. Okay, so it succeeded. Now you just go ahead and close this down. There we go. Building up. Build. Oh, we're gonna build to upgrade. Doesn't really matter. Over here. You just press OK, upgrade. Doesn't really matter. Or yes, it does matter. Just press OK there. And then what we're gonna be interested in is our Soil 2 static lib. Now let me just go to my cheat sheet. So what we're done with is all this. Enter, go to Make folder, Soil 2 Solution, open Soil 2, upgrade, OK. This is the one we're interested in. Build this for debug and release. So we're just gonna go in here. We're gonna press debug, Win32, and we're gonna build it. And after it's built, it should be built. Build it, and then change this to release. We're just gonna do build again. Build. Then building. Obviously we can't run it, but we built it. So I'm just gonna rebuild that once, the debug one. Just rebuild it once. There we go. Okay, so it succeeded. Now just go ahead and close this down. Go to my cheat sheet. Copy the .lib files and paste them in the actual project folder. Okay, so I'm gonna make a new folder here called Soil 2. Soil 2. Okay, I'm gonna go in here and I'm gonna create a include folder, and I'm gonna create a lib folder. Folder and an include folder. So the I is going to be small for me. There we go. Now the source files into the include and whatever. So I'm going to go into lib files folders here. Go ahead and open this thingy again. Now I have a lib and I have a source, right? So lib, new Windows, and I have the debug and I have the Soil 2 lib for the regular one. So I'm just going to copy these two. Actually, the ones I should copy. I'm just going to copy all of this. In case, or no, actually all I have to copy is this. But I'll be safe because I suck and I don't know what I'm doing, but okay. just gonna copy that there. Oh yeah, you don't have to copy, you don't need building one. The source folder, soil2, all of these source thingies, you need to put into our include folder, right? So just take these, put them into your include, and that's good. So that's perfect. All this other stuff is whatever. Boom. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead.
I can't be your love. Look is too trivial for
Ahead,
you.
and in case of problems, I'm just gonna go and check out the project linking soil2 and the include folder. It includes all this. Lib folder. Alright, those are the only two ones that are required. So just so you guys don't have a bunch of extra stuff. In your folders, remove those two. So you have Soil2 and Soil2 debug, and all the include folders they're correctly implemented right there. They're correctly copied. So everything's copied, everything's fine, we should be good. Close down the cheat sheet, close down this, you won't need this anymore, and close down this, and the command prompt as well. So, next step, or let me just go in here, let me just check one thing, bin, okay, we're fine, lib, make object, there we go. Alright, we're good. Close those down, take your Soil2 thingy, go into your YouTube tutorial, whatever you call it, and just copy that in there. Boom, you have Soil2. So now we're going to be linking this, and just right click on your project again. Go into C++ General, like you did before, all configurations, Win32, hit it. Now we're going to make a new one, the final one, and go to YouTube tutorial, linking, Soil2, and include, select folder. And remember what we did, right? We just did this, and solution there. So, solution directory, I'm just going to copy that, because we're going to be reusing it, and then OK, and apply. Linker, now we don't have to add anything to input. Whoops, we did. Did I just do it? Cancel. I just did something really dumb. that's all we need. C++. Okay, it's still in. Good. Linker general and your additional include libraries. Now here, what we're gonna do is we're gonna add linking sol to lib, the whole folder, and then do this. It's okay. Apply. Where is GOFW? It's not there. Wait, cancel. Sorry about that, guys and girls. I'm pretty dumb right now. Wait, general. Okay. General. So I'm gonna have to do GLFW again, I think. GLM. Okay, alright, you know what? Let's just do that again then. Sorry about that. GLFW, lib, select folder. Let's just do this. Apply. There we go. Now, in input, I'm gonna go ahead and press debug, edit, and what I'm gonna add here is are these two copied over. So, I'm going to my soil lib. So, soil2 lib, soil2 debug.lib. This is debug, so soil2 debug.lib. Okay, go ahead and apply that, and then release. Edit, soil2.lib. Alright, and that's for release. So then we're good. We're good. We just included everything that we need in order to code in here. Now, like I said in the last video, you have to create a window before you actually go ahead and initialize glue. That's cool. I'm just gonna, whoops, I'm gonna try to include soil here. Include soil2.h, and then we should be able to use the soil load image, and then we'll be able to load images. Alright, so it should be good. Cool, we found all those, everything's fine, all the library, everything's linked. If there are any errors, I'll correct them, and we will see, but it should be fine. Yeah, thanks for watching, guys and girls, as always. And in the next, hey guys and girls, welcome back to another beautiful video on the beautiful channel, on this beautiful day. How you guys and girls doing? Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, today is the first programming tutorial, right? So we're gonna start off by creating a window and initializing a window and stuff like that, just the bare minimum what you need to know. And we're gonna make a resizable window, a non-resizable window, and a full screen window. Not in that order, but we're gonna start off with the non-resizable window. And what you want to have done is watch the linking tutorials and just linked everything properly to your project. All right, and I made several videos describing exactly how you do that. So yeah, don't worry. And I hope you read a little bit in the LearnOpenGL.com ebook. You don't have to. I'll try to explain. Hope you read several videos. Describing exactly how you do that. So yeah, don't worry. And I hope you read a little bit in the LearnOpenGL.com ebook. You don't have to. I'll try to explain all I can. There's a few things that I'm a little unsure about, but generally you'll learn as you go. At least I know how to code all this stuff and a little bit what it does. So don't be too hard on me, right? If I don't know everything, but I'm pretty sure. But let's just get started. The first step always is to initialize GLFW. So init GLFW. The next step is going to be create window, and the other step is going to be init glue. This is the order you want to do stuff in. Init glue needs the window. Needs window and OpenGL context. So this order is important. All right. Main loop. All right, and in there we're gonna have drawing and everything updating, and then we're gonna have end of program. So before I do this, let's start off with init GLFW. So all you have to do here is just GLFW init. Bam, easy peasy. All right, we just initialize the whole GLFW thingy-majig. Next step, create a window. We want to have to have done this before, so we initialize it. Now we're going to create a window. So the way you do that is just write GLFW window, make it a pointer, window equals GLFW create window. All right, so that's gonna be our window at the end. But before we start with that, we need a few variables. We need a constant integer window width equals, I'm just gonna make a little mini window here. You don't have to worry about making a full screen one yet, or a one at the same size as your monitor. You can do that if you want, doesn't really matter. I'm just gonna make a small one so you can see it. Constant window height 480, just a little mini window. Then you want two integers, frame buffer width, you want equals, I'm just gonna make a little view window. So create a window. We want to have to have done this before, so we initialize it. Now we're gonna create a window. So the way you do that is just write GLFW window, make it a pointer, window equals GLFW create window. All right, so that's gonna be our window at the end. But before we start with that, we need a few variables. We need a constant integer window width equals, I'm just gonna make a little mini window here. You don't have to worry about making a full screen one yet, or a one at the same size as your monitor. You can do that if you want, doesn't really matter. I'm just gonna make a small one so you can see it. Constant window height 480, just a little mini window. Then you want two integers, frame buffer width 0 int frame for height equals 0. Now a frame buffer and your window is different. A window, you can imagine, is like a frame, and the frame buffer is actually the canvas that is kind of stretched and set to your frame. All right, so just imagine it like that. Your frame buffer is actually for height equals 0. Now a frame buffer and your window is different. A window, you can imagine, is like a frame, and the frame buffer is actually the canvas that is kind of stretched and set to your frame. All right, so just imagine it like that. Your frame buffer can be a different size than your window. Now you usually don't want that to happen. We'll see as we go along how we fix that and how we make sure they're the same size and all that stuff. But nevertheless, just go in here, create your window. So the first parameter is the width of the window. The constant, we're going to use our constant, the width. And then the second parameter is the height, window height. All right. The third parameter is the title. So I'm just going to say YouTube tutorial. All right. The fourth parameter is actually if you want to have a full screen or a windowed window. And we're going to have a windowed, so we're just going to say null right now. And then the sharing of the frame buffer, I think that is, I'm not sure. You can share your window and this data with other windows or something like that. But for now, we're just going to set that to null. It's not that important. These ones are important. So remember, this is the full screen parameter, the fourth one. But for now, it's a windowed window to null right now. Tutorial. All right. The fourth parameter is actually if you want to have a full screen or a windowed window, and we're going to have a windowed, so we're just going to say null right now. And then the sharing of the frame buffer, I think that is, I'm not sure. You can share your window and this data with other windows or something like that. But for now, we're just going to set that to null. It's not that important. These ones are important. So remember, this is the full screen parameter, the fourth one. But for now, it's a windowed window. Now, before we actually create the window, we want to set some options for the window. So as it's created, it will create it with those options. Now, the four things we need to, actually 4 or 5 things we need to do is, first of all, we want to state, we want to tell the window, we want to tell OpenGL, or basically which OpenGL version we want to use. So the way we do that is we use glfw window hint. This is to set the window options, and the way that works is you give it a thing to change and you give it a value. So what we want to change here, we want to set is the glfw context version major, and we'll just set 4 there, because right now I think the newest version of OpenGL is 4.6 or something, but I'm going to be using 4.4. Now remember, that depends on which what your drivers provide, right? So it's up to the driver manufacturer to support the latest version. Now your graphics card might not support the latest version. You have to check, just Google it, my OpenGL version, and you'll probably find some way to check it out. But I'll be using 4.4. Don't worry, minor. All right, don't worry too much if you can't use like the latest version. Just remember that after 3.0, it's all pretty much the same. It's just that the internals of the functions are different. It's just the names are all pretty much the same. So don't worry too much about that. Now major and minor, you're like, what the hell is that? Well, if a number is 4.4, the major is the first one, and the one after the dot is the minor. So we're using OpenGL version 4.4 right now. Usually you probably want to use a lower OpenGL version so more people can play the game and use the application. But whatever, we'll just say that right now. Now we want to tell OpenGL we want to use the new core profile, the modern versions of all the cool functions. So GLFW OpenGL profile. We want to change the profile, or we want to set the profile, and we want to say GLFW OpenGL core profile. So we're using the core profile now, the new one, and these are the versions. Then we're just going to do GLFW window hint and GLFW resizable GL false. So we don't want to be able to resize it right as of right now. We'll fix that a little later. Then one special option for macOS X users is basically GLFW OpenGL forward compat should be GL true. This can cause some errors in macOS X and stuff like that, but if you don't have a Mac, then you don't have to use this. But yeah, just remember that. Anyway, after this is done, our window will be created. Boom. And there's a few things we need to do before we can start using OpenGL. So remember, we have to set the context. Now, when we created the window, we have to tell OpenGL, okay, this window you can draw stuff on, you can use it for your stuff. The options are set. And the way we do that is we do a few things. We just do GLFW get frame buffer size, then we're gonna give it our window, and then frame buffer width, and then frame buffer height, I think. Yep. Now remember that we created a window, it has a certain size, and we want to get a frame buffer from that. Now the frame buffer that's created is the same size as the window, so these two variables will be set to the window thingies basically, but we want to get the correct frame buffer size, the width and the height. So once we do that, we want to say GL viewport, basically how much of the window we're drawing on, right? So we're gonna start off by saying from 0, 0 to the width and the height. So frame buffer width and then frame buffer height. So this is our canvas's size, not the frame size, but the canvas size. We're just gonna put that in there. Boom, and we have a viewport set. Now, the final thing is we want to do GLFW make context current. So we're going to set the context to the window, which is now created and initialized properly. And this is important. for glue and for all of your game or your application. So now that this is set, now glue will be able to initialize context to the window set. Now will be set to the window thingies basically, but we want to get the correct frame buffer size, the width and the height. So once we do that, we want to say GL viewport, basically how much of the window we're drawing on, right? So we're gonna start off by saying from 0, 0 to the width and the height. So frame buffer width and then frame buffer height. So this is our canvas's size, not the frame size, but the canvas size. We're just gonna put that in there. Boom, and we have a viewport set. Now, the final thing is we want to do glfw make context current. So we're gonna set the context to the window, which is now created and initialized properly. And this is important for glue and for all of your game or your application. So now that this is set, now glue will be able to initialize properly. Now remember what glue did. Again, it just links from your driver, it checks like what functions are available, and just makes those OpenGL function pointers and just points them to everything that's available in your driver for OpenGL. So it links all those functions together so you can use them. And before you do this, you can't use any modern OpenGL functionality. So to enable modern OpenGL functionality, we're going to do glue experimental equals GL true. All right, now we're gonna check if the glue initialization is okay. I'm just gonna write error here. If glue init is not glue okay, then we're gonna do a std cout error. This is usually how I do error main dot cpp. This is the file, the error, there's an error, there's a file, and then what the problem is. So glue blue init failed. This is how I usually do it. And then just a new line. Right there, beautifully. There we go. And then we just want to GLFW terminate, so we do not continue with our program as this happens. And let me see if I'm recording. Yes, I am. What you actually want to do is you want to throw here, but I don't do that. I just do the cout. It shouldn't fail anyway, but whatever. For now, we'll just use the cout as long as the window is closed. So end of program, we want to clean up some stuff. GLFW terminate. You always want to do that at the end, so you kind of free up the memory from your window and all that stuff. Just end everything. And the main loop, if you made games before, or if you made a program that runs not just once, but as long as you want it to run, use a while loop. There's always a main loop in a game, all right? And basically the way the window is closed, that happens. Go, and then we just want to GLFW terminate, so we do not continue with our program as this happens. And let me see if I'm recording. Yes, I am. What you actually want to do is you want to throw here, but I don't do that. I just do the cout. It shouldn't fail anyway, but whatever. For now, we'll just use the cout as long as the window is closed. So end of program, we want to clean up some stuff. GLFW terminate. You always want to do that at the end, so you kind of free up the memory from your window and all that stuff. Just end everything. And the main loop, if you made games before, or if you made a program that runs not just once, but as long as you want it to run, use a while loop. There's always a main loop in a game, all right? And basically the way games work in general, 2D or 3D or whatever, is you want to check update input. You want to draw something, you want to update something, all right? You want to draw something, and you want to end, or well, basically that's how it is, all right? So the draw function works like this. You clear, you draw, and you end draw. All right, that's basically your draw functionality. And that's basically how we're gonna have it. Now, how long should this game run? Well, I want this game or program to run as long as the window is not issued a close command. So GLFW window should close window, and I'm just gonna say no right there. This says no. This is like, no, I don't want, as long as the window is not getting in a close command, we're gonna keep running. Now, what if you wanted to close the window somewhere, anywhere in the program? Well, you use this function, GLFW set window go should close, and you give the window and a true value, and that would close the window for you whenever you want it to. Now, we're going to use that later for input. When we input the escape, for example, we want the window to close. We're going to use that a little later. But for now, we're just going to keep it like this. Update input. Now, if I ran the program now, it should work, but it's going to give me a little issue here. It's not going to let me close the window. All right, see, I have this little thing here. I can't press anything. I can't resize the window. I can't do anything. All right. The problem there is we're not polling for events. Now GLFW can check events. So GLFW poll events. This is gonna let the cursor actually interact with the window. So if you ever get that error, that's why. And now I set resizable to false, so I can't resize it. All right. Now I can close the window like that. Update is basically game update. We don't do anything here right now. Clear. This is where we're gonna start now. Basically, if you haven't made a game before, for you, or those of you who know, just ignore this. Those of you don't know, the way you draw is, the way a game works is, it's just frames, right? It's frames per second. You draw a frame, and you, with the current position of the characters and everything, and then you draw a new frame with the new positions the next millisecond, and you just keep doing that. And if you have enough frames, it looks like a moving image, right? And a moving object and all that stuff. When internally it is moving, in these images, they're just still images, all right, frames. Now what you want to do before you draw a new frame is you want to clear the old one, so you can clear the window so you can print the new frame. So to clear it, we're just going to say GL clear color. First we're going to set the color we're going to clear. 0.f, 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 1.f. So this is RGBA, red, green, blue. Red, green, blue, and alpha. Alpha is the transparency, so we don't want any transparency, so we have 1 here. Full opacity, I think, full opacity. So just completely opaque, no transparency, nothing like that. If we want to clear with red, we obviously have a 1 here. Now you can do 0.2 or whatever you want, but the clear color is black for us right now. This is black. White is obviously all 1s. Anyway, then we'll say GL clear. This is the actual clear command. So we have different buffers we want to clear. Imagine there being just squares or different canvases, right? Several different canvases where OpenGL draws to. All right, so there's a color buffer, which is just pixels of each, or just colors of each pixel. There's a depth buffer, which stores the depth of each pixel, like at that position, what the depth is. It's really important for 3D. And there's a stencil buffer, which is a little more advanced. We're not even going to talk about that right now, but you can clear those 3. So I'm just going to set those 3 buffers to clear, even if we're not using all of them. What we're using right now is only the color buffer bit, actually. So GL color buffer bit, and then add the GL depth buffer bit as well, and the GL stencil buffer bit. We want to clear all of these buffers to draw. Now we're not using these 2 again right now. Depth we'll be using pretty soon, but the color buffer bit is just the pixels right now. Buffer bit, and then add the GL depth buffer bit as well, and the GL stencil buffer bit. We want to clear all of these buffers to draw. Now we're not using these 2 again right now. Depth we'll be using pretty soon, but the color buffer bit is just the pixels right now. So once we clear, we don't have anything to draw yet, so we're not going to draw anything. The ending of the drawing is to swap buffers and to flush OpenGL. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to GLW swap buffers window. I'm going to GL flush, just to flush stuff out. I'm not really sure what that is. I usually use it just because a friend recommended it. You don't have to use that yet. GLW swap, and that, so we're not going to draw anything. The ending of the drawing is to swap buffers and to flush OpenGL. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to GLW swap buffers window. I'm going to GL flush, just to flush stuff out. I'm not really sure what that is. I usually use it just because a friend recommended it. You don't have to use that yet. I'll check more into that once we get to drawing triangles and stuff. So don't worry about that right now. But this is important. The way OpenGL works is this: a back buffer and a front buffer. So the back buffer is actively being drawn to while the front buffer is being shown to the screen, to the window. Now once you swap the buffers, you kind of take the old frame that's being shown, and while the new frame was being drawn back here, you swap those two once the back buffer has been finished drawing to, right? You swap it, and then you clear the back buffer, the now new back buffer, which was the front buffer, and you start drawing on that while the other one is displaying. So you kind of swap those. One is being drawn to, one is being displayed, and so on. Once the drawing is finished, they're swapped, and so on and so on. So that's what this does. And the way that it helps with these screen tears and stuff. So a half-drawn image isn't shown to the user. So once the image is finished drawing, it's shown. That way there's no tear. And yeah, that's basically it. Now what this should do, this should shows a black little window here. No other issues. Now if we wanted to make it a blue window, we just clear it with the blue color in the background, or the green, sorry, the green will be here. Now I think green and blue gives me some other weird color. Let me see. So I get a little light cyan color, and a white would be that, and so on and so on. So you can just play around with these colors, do whatever you want. 1 is the max, 0 is the least. Everything above will be kind of cut down to 1 and 0. So yeah, that's the bare minimum to actually making a window. Now I promised you I'd show you how to make a full screen window and a resizable window. And the way you want a resizable window is just saying GL true here. But it's a little more complicated than that, because our frame buffer then will be changing as the window is drawn in and out. Alright? So wait, let me just check what happens if you do this. If you set a viewport that is just weird, I think something weird is gonna happen then. Let me see. And what if I draw? This is just for my own testing purposes. Let me see if my theory is correct. No, okay, never mind. No theory, not correct. Just leave that the way that is, just like that. So what you want to do then, because your frame buffer will be changing, you want to resize the viewport and everything as the window is resizing. So you won't need these two right now for that. What you need to do is you need to create a function. This is called void frame buffer resize callback function, and it takes a glfw window pointer, a int fb width, frame buffer width, and an int frame buffer height. So the frame buffer will be changing, and we're going to reset the viewport as we resize the window. All this might sound very complicated. Just think of it like this. This is what you need if you want a resizable window. If you don't, just ignore this. All right, that's all you need to know. GL viewport 0 0 the new FB width and the new FB height. That's what you want to do. Like that's all you have to include in the function. And instead of these two, we're gonna do this: glfw set frame buffer. Hey guys and girls, welcome. So yeah, that's the bare minimum. Viewport zero zero the new FB width and the new FB height. That's what you want to do. Like that's all you have to include in the function. And instead of these two, we're gonna do this: glfw set frame buffer resize callback window frame buffer resize callback. This is our own function that we created. Now that's a function pointer. So as soon as this window is resized, this function will be called, and a new frame buffer and a new viewport will be set as we resize the window. So now this should work. All right, now this should work. Yep, we can resize it, and if we drew something, you'd see the difference. All right, as soon as we start drawing stuff, you'll see the difference. Now the triangle would be stretched and set in the center of the screen as we had it before. If I didn't have this, you'd kind of zoom in and out as you resize the window, and I'll show you guys all that stuff later. But for now, this is all you need to create a window. And I'm sorry if it was blabbering too much and if it was unclear, but try to memorize this. Try to make sure you know what's going on here, and please read the book on learnopengl.com, because they just go through stuff a little more than I do, but I tried to explain everything as well as I could. So yeah, next video is gonna be Hey guys and girls, welcome back to another beautiful video on this beautiful channel on this beautiful day. How you guys and girls are doing? Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. So this is a really important